Good afternoon, it's Andre from Perfect Power, and I've had a lot of questions with regards to wrist straps from Savage Support. So what I did today is I got a few of the wrist straps here, and then I just want to go through them and show you which ones are for training, which ones are for the intermediates, and which ones would you like to use when you go excessively heavy in competitions. So as you can see here, they are all color coded, and this is the nice thing from Savage Support. So when you want to buy it, you'll know exactly which one you want. We'll start down here with the training ones. And as you'll see, if I just take it, you can squeeze it together. So these are the training reactive ones. Then you'll go over to the Dominators, which is quite firm. We'll take them apart just now. Then you'll go to the Immovables. And again, you get them in 60 centimeters and 1 meters. These ones, if you want to go heavy. So if you really want to push your bench to the next level and you're afraid that your ribs might cave in, then this is the one you want. Then you get to the ultimate, the big daddy, the Goliath. Now these are also called the cast wraps because they don't move. And once you have these on, your wrists are going nowhere. So I'll show you, we'll go through one. So these ones are the most extreme ones that Savage has. And getting them on, as you see, there's no real flexibility in them. Let me just make sure it's legal. The way it's on. Yeah. As you can see, your wrist is going nowhere. And I won't recommend this to the lighter lifters because I literally can't feel my hand at the moment, and I can't close or open my hand. So yes, these are more for the hardcore lifters. If you want to buy these, your wrists are going nowhere. Alright, so these are the Goliaths, or the concrete, the cast, whatever you want to call them. So I'm going to put these over here. Okay, alright, then after that, you've got the Immovables. Now, this is the one I like the best. I don't train with these, but I compete with them. You'll also find these on the wrist wraps. Now you'll find the same in the knee wraps, but we'll do that later. So if we go over to the wrist wraps on this one, if we pull it apart, you see there's a little bit more elasticity in them. So when you take them, let's get this on, and you put them on, there's a little bit more. So when you actually tighten them, they're not as bad as the cast, but they are just as effective. As you can see, it's pretty thick, and as you can see what it's doing to my hand currently. So if you want to go bench, my hand is stuck like this. It really doesn't want to open or close much. So for bench, it will keep it exactly where it is. If you want to squat, it'll keep it exactly where it is. So you don't have to worry about your wrist giving in, caving in, moving around, or getting injured at all. And the longer you can see that I keep it on, the more I'm losing feeling in my hand. As you can see how it's pulling the nerves. So again, it's very important to strap just before you lift. Otherwise, by the time you get there, you're not going to be able to get your hand on the bar. Like a T-Rex hand, and it's going purple, as you can see there. So let's just get it off. Alright, so these are the Immovables. Then, these are the ones, the Dominators, that I train with as well. Very nice. You also keep your wrist locked in position. When you take them, there's a bit more elasticity in them. So again, you've got a little bit more play with them. So if you want to put them on, of course, if you want to pull them to the absolute max, it's going to do the same as the other two. But if you put them on nice and tight, they grip nice and tight. They're not as thick. Obviously, you get the 60 and 90 centimeters. But they are very, very nice. You see, you still got movement in the hand. So for training, this is very, very nice. But again, for competition, I reckon that the Immovable ones, especially for the heavier guys, this is an excellent wrist wrap to use. So let's take this one off. Then, this one is your more for training. It's softer. And if you don't want to lock your wrist in. Then, as you can see, more play on it, but it's also it's softer, just the material. So when it's on, when you tighten it nice and tight, there's a lot of movement in your hand. Your hand doesn't get stuck. And again, you get the 60 and you get the 90 centimeters, or the 1 meter. So it all depends on how thick you want them over here. So it's very important to choose the right one for training and the right one for competition. But the closer you get to competition, you need to start using the ones you're going to compete with. Otherwise, you're not going to be used to it. I've had a lot of people ask me, which one must I train, which one must I compete? And I tell you, train with the green one, for the heavier guys especially. But then your last, say, 2 or 3 weeks, switch over to the competition one. Because when you get to the comp, these ones are pretty hectic. And I've had people ask me about this one, can they use it? And I'll tell you, this is for the hardcore lifter, really. Once you have this on, your wrists are going nowhere. But it's also very uncomfortable. So if you're not used to this, do not use it at the competition for the first time. You might experience loss of feeling, especially if you put it on your knees. You can use the knee wraps for that, because you cannot bend your knees at all. But again, we'll do that on the next video. So yeah, I hope that answers some of the questions. So this is the range that you get. You get the Goliaths, or the cast. You get the Immovables. And then you get the Dominators. Very nice. As I said, the Dominators are the ones I train with. You'll see them all over my gym. Then you get the training ones, which are softer. Also the ladies, when you just start out with reps, then maybe this is a very good choice, especially for the ladies to use as well. And then from these, you can move up to the Dominators. They are pretty hectic, but still usable. But I won't go to the Immovables or to the Goliaths at all. Then, another question, the figure of 8s, especially for those in strongman. Savage Support also has the figure of 8s. As you can see, it's nice and thick, the way it was stitched. And I've used these for the last 4 or 5 years, and they last. They don't perish, as you can see. I've had mine being cut off before, after I fainted in a deadlift. And where they have been stitched together as well, as I said, this one is about 4 or 5 years old. It's the stitching hasn't come loose at all. So you can see quality-wise. So yes, guys, quality-wise, Savage Support gear, definitely. I know there's people that say, what about other brands? I'm not even going to touch on other brands. Value for your money, this is what you need. Once you get to the 300 kilos, when you want to squat, and the knee wraps will get you these, and then below that we'll get to those. So the knee wraps we'll get to. But for now, hope this answers the questions with regards to the wrist wraps. If there's any other questions, please let me know. Hope you have a great day.